Hello everyone, here's Savita again. Good evening. Today was a very beautiful day and I spent most of my time cleaning, carrying pots and trying to decide which plants I can bring inside now and which plants can still stay outside for a while. I don't have that much of a space in the living room and I will be bringing them inside upstairs. I have a small space on the staircase and that's where I'll be putting them to overwinter. So if you'd like, please join me and enjoy the video. It started cooling down nighttime. Below 9 degrees centigrade, so I'll start cleaning those two ceramic pots with the succulents. And I already pulled out my lemongrass from the herb garden, and I just noticed some callus growing in that pot. Those were the ones that gave me a lot of blooms last winter, and then I cut it and just put it someplace in the garden, close to the playhouse. And I just noticed that they started growing again. So this might give me a lot of blooms again in winter. So I'll clean that pot too. And just like I said, bring them inside when it's time. I already cleaned most of my succulent pots and even brought them inside already, the smaller ones. These are the succulent pots that I cleaned up and brought inside a few days ago. And I still have to rearrange the pots here because I would like to put the other plants here that I have to overwinter. And there is a skylight over here or a roof light, and there is also a shutter that I can open and close depending on how much light I'd like to have over here over the winter. So guys, this is the time of the year when I wish I had a greenhouse or a glass house, because I have to bring in some of the plants inside, and of course it's a lot of cleaning to do, making sure that I don't bring in some pest. And I don't have that much space in the house since my husband took over one room for his piano. And I would really like to bring a lot. The Vietnamese coriander that I use a lot has to go inside, and I would love to put it on a windowsill facing south, but it's too big and I don't have too many windowsills on the south. And I would love to keep the lemongrass alive over the winter because I use it a lot for my tea, and I really have to find a place for it. It's too big. And of course, the two plumerias or Hawaiian lei plants also has to go inside. I could actually keep it as a house plant inside, keep it where there is enough light coming through, and maybe I can even have some blooms. But if I can find a space for them, then I have to put them to dormancy and keep it in a dark, cool place. And the kala will probably give me some blooms. I would like to keep the kala in the living room because this will definitely give me some blooms around December, November until late January. So I'll keep that inside the living room somehow. And then I have two agapanthus or lily of the Nile, a blue flowering one and a white flowering one, different varieties. But I have to put them to dormancy because I don't have any space to keep them in the living room. I still have two big pots that contains succulents. I already cleaned them too, checked if there are any slugs or snails or any pests, and they'll go in the living room too. And there are two more Australian chestnuts. I already have one inside the house, a bigger one, and these two I can keep for my kids. They don't look good. They were eaten by some kind of insects. But I checked, nothing is in there, no pest. So I'll have to bring those inside too. And so far, that's all. I cleaned everything that has to go inside the house. I'll just park them here on the terrace. And my husband is not very happy about it. But it has to be. When it turns colder, then I'll bring them inside the house. These pots over here also has to go inside. They're clean now. And I planted some basils that I took from the raised bed. These two already has roots. I took some cuttings to root and they are now sitting in a corner with water. And then I pulled out a parsley, and there is a tarragon on the right that can actually stay outside, but I just bought this one and I'd like to use it over the winter, so I'll keep it on a windowsill in the kitchen. And there is also a lemon verbena that has to go in, a pelargonium from a friend of mine, some Thai basil, and there's another plant that I don't know the name that my good friend also gave me. So that's it for all the plants that has to go inside the house. And yeah, now I can really start cleaning up the garden, preparing it to winterize. There are still a few more apples, and I can still probably do one more load in my dehydrator, and then that's it. So I can concentrate, just like I said, winterizing the garden, cutting some hedges. We're allowed to cut the hedges again starting the 1st of October, which is tomorrow. Okay, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye now.